To make pebbles shine, you have to wet them first. Hello. Have you ever noticed how pebbles change colour when they get wet? And the patterns show up on them more clearly. There they are. Oh yes, lovely pattern on the back of that one. And they make quite a noise too.
Something else that's quite noisy. Tiny shells, hundreds of tiny shells that you might be able to collect on a beach. Hello. Have a look at them. See, this one is really very, very small, and it's got a point on the top. There. And another very, very small one. For such small things, they can really be quite noisy. Or sound as if perhaps they're the waves on the beach.
Sand is very quiet. But when you wet sand, it changes altogether. Watch this. Each tiny grain of sand is getting coated in water, and it makes a kind of mud. And before it dries out, it's quite useful to draw in. Sand's useful for playing in and doing all sorts of things.
My toes are coming out.
Are they?
Yeah.
Yes, I can see one toe coming up. Victoria's toes haven't gone at all, have they? Sit them down, Victoria. What are you about?
Jangle, jingle, hear the shingle underneath my feet. Hello! Jangle, jingle, hear the shingle underneath my feet. Woo, shindy, shandy, toes get sandy, walking down the beach. Shindy, shandy, toes get sandy, walking down the beach. Slurpy, slimy seaweed, crinkly, crunchy seashells, waves a washing, splish, splash, sploshing. Sing a song of seashores. Shindy, shandy, toes get sandy, walking down the beach.
Imagine you're walking on soft, squishy sand. Pebbles now. Ouch. Back on the sand again. Freezing seawater now.
A hand in the sand. There's more in here. Look with care. What's under here? Whoop, something. What's this? Bit crinkly. Bit shiny. What's that? Do you know what that is? Oh, I know what that is. Ah, I'll leave that there. Anything else? Ah, perhaps, oh yes, something here. Aha! A sailing boat. Here's another shell. I'll see what's underneath here. Oh yes, something else. Don't know what that is. It's a... Ah. That'll be useful. Bring that over here. See what's under this shell. Pretty good. Anything else? Yeah. Something else under here. What's that? Seen that before, I think. One more shell. Let's see. Aha! Seashell. Hey, that's a really nice one. I think I'll keep that for my collection.
And the story today is about a brother and sister who loved collecting stones. They were called Tom and Jane. Well, Tom and Jane loved collecting things, anything. Bits of paper, twigs, leaves, but best of all, stones. Stones fascinated them. Each one was so different. They often went for a walk by the sea, and the sea was so shallow that when they went wading in bare feet or Wellington boots, it barely covered their ankles, and they could stoop down, pick up a stone and throw it into the water and watch all the circles and ripples that it made. They used to like to find flat stones that would skip, and Tom was an expert at this. He could make the stones skip 3 times. When the stones were wet, they were shiny and they had different patterns on. And when they were dry, they were duller, but sometimes they had sparky bits. Each one was different, and each one was a different colour. And sometimes they found what Jane called sandwich stones, where there was a different bit in the middle with the same bit at the top and at the bottom. Well, you could go on talking about stones forever. No two are the same. Tom and Jane didn't only like to look at stones, they liked to collect them up and take them home. And that's where the trouble started. Piles of stones started to accumulate all over the house. Stones were found in drawers and in pockets, even in Mum's shopping bag. And little heaps of stones appeared in the children's bedrooms, on bookshelves, and even under Tom's pillow. "This one looks just like a mouse," said Tom. "And this one, or this one could be a person. This would make a beautiful design stone," said Jane, picking up a large triangular-shaped one. Well, sometimes the stones were made into presents. The mouse-shaped one was sanded down, then it was painted with ears and eyes, and it had a string tail glued on. And others were painted with beautiful and intricate designs. And Tom even made a jewel box for Mum by sticking tiny pebbles onto a margarine tub. But the rest of the stones sort of got left lying about. One day, the children came home from school to find a very cross mother. One of the stones had found its way into the washing machine and scratched all the inside of it, and another one had blocked up the pipe of the vacuum cleaner. "No more stones in this house," said Mother. "I agree with you, they are very beautiful, but from now on you must look at them outside." "Well, if you're actually making something, then you can bring them in, but the rest of them, straight out again." Well, from then on, Tom and Jane had their pockets and satchels searched every time they came into the house. And somehow, they're quite unable to leave stones alone. And rows used to develop. Something had to be done. Mum had been given a large glass storage jar, and it was too big for any of the kitchen shelves. It gave Tom an idea. "Why don't we just put some of our very special stones into it. He said, the ones we just can't bear to throw away. We'll always let you get the jar down and put the stones in, he promised his mother. And that's what they did. Little by little, they filled up the jar, and everyone agreed that when it was full, they could only add new ones by throwing away some of the old ones. The jar looked really beautiful. Mum filled it with water so that the stones would shine. Everyone admired it, and unlike other ornaments, the inside of it was constantly changing.
Pebbles in a jar. Shells on a tin. Sand in a bottle. But how does the ship get in? Well, how do you think the ship does get in? When they make the ship, they make it so that the mast is lying flat, and that way they can get it through this very narrow bottleneck. And when it's there, they pull the masts up with a thread. Here's something else made out of sand. Sandpaper, or glass paper it's sometimes called. It's quite rough. It's just thick paper with sand glued onto it. Here's some finer. And there's another piece here, which is really fine. Now, sandpaper is used for smoothing things down. For example, if you've got rust on your bicycle, well, you would rub that down with some sandpaper. And if you want to smooth some wood down, there's quite a sharp edge on that wood. If I rub it with sandpaper, there you are, much smoother now. Well, these old bits of sandpaper could be quite useful for something else. Over here. Right. I think I'll put some big bits down, like this. And a piece here. There. Bluish bit. There. Right. Well, that could be the sand, and then there's the beach hut, and with a bit of paint, put in the horizon, furthest point on the sea. There we are. And perhaps there's a bit of wind, so there are a few white horses on the sea. Perhaps one or two seagulls. Flying away. I know what this could be. Flagpole and a flag. Well, this beach is pretty empty. Must be quite early in the morning. There's a rocky part of the beach. A few white horses there, smashing over the rocks. Swirling around. Aha! Some early birds on the sands. And someone picking up yesterday's litter. Here come the holiday makers. Not very easy dragging a pram across the sand. There's another beach hut. What's he going to do? Oh, he's putting a flag up. Wonder what that one means. Aha. That means it's a patrolled area for bathing. He must be the lifeguard, and he's going to keep his eye on the beach, look after everyone when they're bathing in the sea. Safe to bathe between the other flag and this one. Wonder if the tide's coming in or going out. Ah, well, the beach is certainly filled up. Quite a busy beach. This beach is filling up too. Splashing in the water and paddling. Taking photographs. Being photographed. Oh yeah, I like this one, my favourite. Sunbathing. Sitting around in deck chairs. Making sand pies. Seagulls. I can even hear the band.
Everyone delights to spend their summer holiday down beside the side of the silvery sea. So save up all the money you can till summer comes around, and away you go to a spot you know where the cockle shells are found. Oh, I do like to be beside the seaside. I do like to be beside the sea. Oh, I do like to stroll along the pom-pom-pom where the brass band plays till the pom-pom-pom. Oh, just let me be beside the seaside, and I'll be beside myself with glee. And there are lots of girls beside. I should like to be beside the seaside, beside the sea, beside the seaside, beside the sea.
Hey, I know a game we can play with pebbles and shells,
Shall I
Sarah.
bring some along?
Yeah, grab some shells. John, you can play as well. Where are you?
Here I am.
Grab some shells.
Good, all right.
Now, what we've got to do is drop these pebbles and these shells into the water and hope that they land on the coin. If
Right.
yours sits on the coin, you're the winner.
Right.
I've got it.
Shall I go first?
Yeah, you go
Okay.
first.
Go.
Nope,
Missed.
it's me.
Yes, you'll go. Oh,
One in
okay.
the eye.
My turn.
Nope.
I'll try a shell.
Oh, very good.
Ooh, nearly.
Nearly. Nowhere near.
I'll try a shell. Oh,
Oh,
Ah,
I think
got
you've
a
done
point.
the
it.
winner. Well,
Right.
1 point. All right, we'll
I
have
think
another
it's time for us to go now.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Okay.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. Time for another
go.
game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
Oh, you've won that one as well.
Now we'll have another go.
See if I can knock you off.
Getting this fish on about 4,000 to 5,000, something like
It's
that.
upwards of 4,000 for a fish this
Yeah.
size. It's what, 2.5 kilos. But we're looking for 90% survival plus to hatching,
Yeah.
whereas natural would survival would be less than 10%.
This is really what we want to do as well, to try and produce a proper Thames strain of salmon.
That's right. Selective breeding, as you say, is going to produce a nice Thames run. Well, she's done her business well, hasn't she? Look at the state of her now.
She'll come round from the anaesthetic fairly quickly over there.
Yeah, she'll lie on her side for a while, but she'll recover quickly.
Right. So we've got to fertilise them with 2 males, just in case one of the males is infertile.
That's right.
4,000 eggs from one female. These and the eggs from other females ensure Thames par and smolt for the next season's stocking. A guaranteed strain of Thames salmon running upriver of their own free will. Already there are signs of natural spawning in the Thames. But in what numbers? How many survive the cycle and return? Help is still at hand and will continue until the salmon can breed and return naturally. But even now, there is a strain of salmon that regard the Thames as home. And for the first time in 150 years, the River Thames can be regarded as a true salmon river. Perhaps, once again, to be one of the world's finest.